Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of HP Critical, a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm Jarrell, and I am joined by Brandon,
Yo.
Kelly,
Hi, everybody.
and Gabe. Also, I'm so sorry I was laughing. It's because yes, Gabe, yes, I love the energy.
Thanks.
I forgot how to do the intro, so if that's why I was laughing in the beginning. I'm embarrassing myself. This is the last episode of 2021 that we're recording, but you guys won't hear it until 2021.
2022.
No, they'll hear it tomorrow, 2021. Or
okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Which
would be 2022.
Saturday is 2022.
Wait, what? Is it really?
Saturday's
All right,
the
yeah.
first.
Never mind.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to hear it in 2022. Just kidding.
Hey, we'll see y'all next year.
You'll definitely be watching us in the future in 2022. But because it is going to be 2022, we're going to do a nice little retrospective and look back on 2021. And the first thing I want to ask you guys is if you remember if there's any that stood out to you, what was one of the most memorable video game stories that we talked about this year? If you have any. If you don't, it's totally fine.
Not a video game story, but our 69th episode was pretty saucy. So that was
very
a memory.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a nice little highlight to talk about all that good stuff. Get that out there.
I don't know. I feel like the lead up to it was more titillating than the actual episode.
No,
I don't know. I feel like it got pretty raunchy.
once we got to the actual, yeah, for sure it did.
But we talked about it a lot for sure. We
definitely hyped it up. That was actually a really good moment. Any other moments?
Anytime we had a guest on, that was fun. That was always fun.
We had a lot of cool guests. We had a lot of cool guests over the year.
We totally did have some really great industry peeps on here from a bunch
I was gonna
of
say
different
names,
websites.
but I feel like I'm gonna miss somebody by accident. I don't want them to get mad. So
that feels like so long ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't even remember when the last guest was.
I think it was
Sterling. Yeah, I think so.
I said when, not who.
Oh,
But like that was still a while ago. So
yeah, it was
like
like
I feel
October
like
or something.
yeah.
Wow, really? Was it that long ago? I'm off
think
my
so.
game. I gotta go. Well, for 2022, we're gonna have even more guests. I promise. With my fingers crossed, just in case I can't fulfill that promise. But yeah, no, those are actually really great moments. Episode 69, which also featured Sterling. It was supposed to be Wesley, but he couldn't make it at the time.
Yeah.
Which I'm very sad about because he was very excited to be a part of episode 69. We've had wonderful people on. I too am not going to name anyone because there were a ton of great people from a bunch of different sites. We had some game developers come on as well. We had a pretty good run for 2021, and I can't wait to see what 2022 brings. Any other moments?
I guess this is sort of another sexy topic, which I hate, but when we talked about Keanu Reeves, like, okay, well, we talked about people modding the game to have sex with him, and we were saying how they took that away in the game, but then now we find out that he was actually into it recently. So that was a new development that was very interesting and fun. So put it back in, please. I'll play it. God, I feel like there's other stuff. We're all sick and we're just suffering.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
All sick. Y'all are all sick.
Yeah, all of us
Gabe
except for Gabe.
Gabe keeps himself extremely healthy in these trying times.
I've been trying very hard to keep myself very healthy, but literally I got sick as I took a COVID test, so take from that what you will. I think one of my favorites was hosting that lovely 100 questions with you guys. That
was fun.
That was cool.
That was a hilariously fun time. All the answers were right there, and eventually you got them all right, which was really a great time. I also always enjoy talking about marginalized issues in gaming with you guys. Either we're talking about women in gaming, POC in gaming, LGBT, et cetera. Those are always really tough topics, but I think that we usually do a damn good job at, discussing them and being comfortable enough to share our opinions with one another. And those conversations have probably been some of my favorite.
Yeah.
So
I
thank
agree.
you guys. And because we're not going over any news today, I will talk about one of the news pieces that I actually wanted to talk about, which was on the topic titled Call of Duty Studio vaguely promises to do better a month after sexual harassment report from Kotaku. Miranda Dew, which is at Miranda Dew on Twitter, she quote tweeted this article and said, "The women of Treyarch organized to write the statement and have it published. We are the ones that have been impacted the most by what has happened, and we are fighting for a better future. Change has to happen from within, and we are doing our best and need support, not this." And not this was in reference to the article that said Call of Duty Studio vaguely promises to do better a month after sexual harassment report. I just thought that was so interesting because we always, I think, have conversations about the people who do bad in a company versus all the other people that are working on the good stuff within that company. And sometimes it can very much be a I'll take a quick example of like everyone saying let's boycott Blizzard, but then other people saying, hey, but what about all the wonderful women that are working on World of Warcraft right now that aren't getting, any pay, any recognition for all the work that they're doing. And that was just such a staunch example of that we were going to talk about it, but we're not going to talk about anything serious today because this is our last episode of 2021 before we go into 2022, which you're listening to in 2022. So let's start with a look back at 2021, since we already started talking about gaming, not gaming, what we were talking about. Let's talk about video games in 2021. Kelly, what were your favorite games of 2021?
Resident Evil Village. But I feel like it got really hyped, and then I was like, okay, and then probably It Takes Two. I still haven't finished it, but I got Game of the Year for a reason. It's really good. I liked The Medium that came out this year in like early. It's hard for me to remember like stuff that comes out.
Same.
Long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably those three. I think I wrote reviews on at least two of them too.
How's Jurassic World Evolution not one of your favorites?
It was so forgettable to me. I totally forgot about it.
Oh shit.
Not to be rude, the first one really captivated me, but then like the second one just felt like more of the same. And the things that they added that were new, like the underwater dinosaurs, like I haven't even unlocked it yet, and I've played for like 30 hours or something, like
Wow.
or even no, I think I've even played longer, which I could have started at that park. Like there's a certain area where you get that unlocked, but it's like the new thing you're bringing to the game. Like I'd like to unlock it before putting in that long,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. So I felt a little bit disappointed, but I'm not mad at it. I just wasn't captivated.
Is there anything that you played this year that didn't come out this year that you really enjoyed?
I continually play Phasmophobia. Oh my god, I didn't even mention Halo Infinite that came out this year. I've been playing it like crazy. I play it like every day. Trying to rank up to plat at least. But came out last year, Phasmophobia. What else? God, I don't even know. Sometimes I play older games. Did I play Outlast this year?
I think you did.
Okay,
I
then
think you're shimmying it
Outlast.
this year.
No. That was last year because it was Halloween.
What?
See, I'm
Okay.
telling you, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's happening. Yeah, but just mostly scary games.
Fair point. Brandon, same question.
Well-
What were your favorite games this year, and any that you played this year that were not from this year that were also your favorites?
I'll tackle the latter one first, actually. This was the year that I finally got around to finishing up the DLC for Breath of the Wild, because I had finished the base game like pretty much on launch year, but I never got around to the DLC. So I did that this year, which I'm happy about. Did the story of Age of Calamity because I didn't want to start that until I had finished the DLC. So that was enjoyable to get through. I still do that post-game stuff. And then I did my second route in Three Houses earlier this year as well. So I had originally done Golden Deer, and I've now done Blue Lion. At some point, I'm going to get that Black Eagles route in. But those are the games from past years that I played this year. As far as stuff that came out this year, it's interesting. I got to be perfectly honest now that I'm really thinking about it. My PlayStation 5 got the majority of its use in like the first half of this year because I was still on like furlough from like 2020. So I was like playing mostly like Nier Replicant and then Final Fantasy VII Episode Intermission. But then I have to go back to work and it was pretty much just switch because all I really had time for was handheld play. So with that said, a lot of the games I played this year was like I really enjoyed Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. We did a whole playthrough of 3D World with I did it with Jarrell, Gabe, and Christy. Full playthrough the entire game, including the damn Champions Road. But that's
which you can find on YouTube.
HPCritical, yeah, watch that whole thing. It took us 3 streams to do Champions Road, but we did it. We got it done, and that was a lot of fun. Bowser's Fury was a nice little after dinner mint after death. That was like a nice little bite-sized experience that I enjoyed. I really enjoyed Mario Golf Super Rush a lot, actually. It's definitely one of my more favorite recent Mario Golf games. Last few haven't been the greatest, at least not for me. But I played a lot of multiplayer with that. It was a good time. Single player could have been better, but had a good time with the multiplayer, and they kept updating it, so that was nice. Skyward Sword HD, still going through that game, but it's as good as I remember and better because of the quality of life stuff. Mario Party Superstars is the best Mario Party has been in a while, honestly. Just because it's taking back like 100 mini games from like the past 1 through 10, and then 5 boards in the 64 era. It's the classic Mario Party, remember, with like a new coat of paint. So it's something I'm really enjoying. And then we're not talking about Game of the Year stuff just yet, right? Are we? Or okay, then I'll save the last game for that.
I mean, you can still tell us if it was your.
Well, when we get I'll mention what the game is, but yeah, it's Metroid. I got a lot to say about that when we get to that.
And Gabe,
My turn. My favorite games of the year have been Chivalry 2, Battlefield 2042, even though everyone hates the game apparently. Tales of Arise, my first Tales game. It Takes Two. I don't shut up about the game. Death's Door, Mario Party Superstars. The Skyrim Anniversary Edition. And yeah, Skyward Sword. Those 8 games have been my woohoo games of the year. And then the games that I still play from the past religiously. Oh, sorry, I forgot a game. Shit, which one do I have? The Pokemon game. I don't remember. Shining Pearl.
Diamond or Shining Pearl?
I think I have Shining Pearl. That one's been pretty fun. It's shaping up to be my first full playthrough of that game. I never finished it because it got hard after a while. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, but the games I've still been playing that are come out of the past, Breath of the Wild, obviously, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Actually, not to one up Brandon here, but I ended up beating Fire Emblem 3 Houses 3 times in 1 month.
Nice.
3 different routes. There was something wrong with me that month because I'm telling you, I've never burned through a game as fast as I did in that game.
Game's really good.
It is. Metro Dread. I've been enjoying that one. That's my first ever Metroid game. Pretty fun. Hard as hell. No one told me it was gonna be hard, but I'm a Souls guy, so I can take it. And Phasmophobia, I still play, and it's exciting. You know, they've been updating that game with pretty good updates. And yeah.
All right, well, the games that I enjoyed, excuse me, my favorite games from 2021 are Neo: The World Ends With You, Tales of Arise, and Bravely Default 2. Which pretty much shows you my genre of games. And the game that I've been playing this year that I didn't finish still, which is fucking crazy, that I've really been enjoying is Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Nice.
It is a great game. It's fucking awesome. And I still haven't finished it. So it is going with me from 2021 into 2022 because that's how life happens. And of course, my love for Final Fantasy 14 has resurfaced, and I've just been doing a shit ton of stuff in that game. I've been doing a ton of raids, which are just always awesome. had a nice little rating party. Everyone's really nice. It's really lots of fun. So I actually was on a actually I can't say what I was doing because they might listen. But I was arguing with someone about Final Fantasy 14 yesterday. So if you're listening, you know who you are and you know what we did.
It wasn't me this time.
It was not Gabe. It was not Gabe.
I can't believe I didn't even mention Final Fantasy 14.
It was
How
because
dare
you
you.
loved it and then you got back into your shooter phase, which totally
True.
fair. Excuse me, totally fair. But yeah, all of my free time has also been going into Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, which we are doing for JRPG Club for HPCritical, which you should definitely check out on this podcast as well. That game's also really great. It's been a wonderful time. The conversations have been great around it. Let's move on to what was released from PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo this year. Just to talk about how we feel about how they did for the year, and then we're going to talk about our personal game of the years as well as the game of the year from HPCritical, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. That sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so let's start with Nintendo. The big games that released for Nintendo this year, and correct me if I'm missing any or if I am wrong, include Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, Bravely Default 2, Story of Seasons, Monster Hunter Rise, Pokemon Snap, Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir and the Girl Who Stands Behind, Miitopia, World's End Club, DC Superhero Girls, Game Builder Garage, Mario Golf Super Rush, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Pokemon Unite, No More Heroes 3, WarioWare Get It Together, Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, Advance Wars 1 and 2, Danganronpa, Star Wars Hunters, I don't know what that is. Shin
That didn't come out. That didn't come out this year.
Okay, and
Neither
Shin
did
Megami,
Advance Wars.
and neither did Advance Wars, sorry. And
No.
Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's just some of the games that came out this year for Nintendo. So I know that people, including me, were complaining because this was the year of Zelda's anniversary. And I was really looking forward to more than just Skyward Sword HD coming out, because I'm one of those people that only plays on my Switch exclusively. And I was really looking into trying to get into some of those other Zelda games, but I guess I gotta wait till they come on the N64 thingamabobber, which is still too expensive. So not only did we have those games, we also had the OLED Switch come out this year. They added Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis to their upgraded Nintendo plan. Anything else big happen with Nintendo?
Well, the other big thing was like this is the final year of Smash's DLC.
Yes, the final DLC for Smash, Sora.
Yeah,
Hotly anticipated, most popular character for DLC finally made its way, and now Smash DLC is done.
Animal Crossing too.
That's true. It did get its big ass update.
It's one big ass update. It's final big ass update.
And that is also included in Nintendo Switch Online service. Yeah, which
That's
was
true. Yeah,
so
it's got a
controversial.
special pack. Yeah.
Yep. And that is the last biggest Animal Crossing update, which she probably hasn't started it yet, but one of us just got Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
It's Kelly.
I started it.
Oh, you did?
It's very
Slow?
yeah, and boring. I'm just pulling weeds, 1 weed, 2 weeds, 3 weeds. I'm is this it? Is that all?
I
Yes.
think there's something very special about Animal Crossing. Well, first of all, and I'm going to make this very short, but Animal Crossing was already a niche game to begin with. So there was a very specific demographic that played Animal Crossing, and the same people that are excited for it are the same people who used to play it. And then with New Horizons, it just so happened it was just time and place, really. It just so happened to come out in the middle of a pandemic when no one could do anything. So if you didn't catch the game during that wave of playing with your friends, it is not at all going to be the same as playing it a year later.
Yeah.
It's really it would have literally been all of us on Animal Crossing, helping you out, visiting your islands, fishing for villagers, having a bunch of fun, trading fruit, and doing all this cool shit because we had nothing else to do. And it really sucks now for you to start playing it now because it's essentially just going to be a really boring, farming sim.
I mean, yeah, that's what I've experienced so far. It's nice to know that you'll only play it with me if you have nothing better to do, apparently. So,
That's what I was saying. I was like,
that.
yeah, she could just ask and we'll
ouch.
go. Like it's not like,
I
oh, I don't
say
want to play
that.
this game anymore. What?
No, I don't really mind. I mean, I sometimes just want to turn on some stupid mind-numbing trash on my Switch, and that's when I'll play it. I literally knew I knew I was gonna hate it, so that's why I waited until Christmas so I wouldn't have to pay $50 for it. I didn't want to pay that fucking money. If I could have gotten it for 10, I would have. I couldn't. So
Stupid mind-numbing trash that you hate, that you
Yeah.
should have only paid $10 for, but you got it for free.
yeah.
Marissa, if you're listening to this,
I'm
I
so
did not tell her to say
sorry.
that. I did not tell her to say that.
Yeah, it wasn't Gabe this time.
I'm an actual Animal Crossing fan.
It's just honestly,
I
it's
don't
just
hate the
for
game that much.
it's just for people who are relaxed, and I am not a relaxed person. I
I'm
am
an
a
Animal
very
Crossing fan, and I'm not
intense
relaxed.
person. I can't relax to a game like that. don't
I
know.
just, I get into the whole like doing your dailies, like dailies in games, right? Like I do dailies in Final Fantasy 14, I do dailies in Animal Crossing, I do dailies in my multis. Like it's just one of those things that I just get used to doing, and then it becomes like a comfort thing. And then my friends are on. We all just went and had coffee with Grayson and Marissa, and it was fucking great. Like we went to Marissa's Island and we all had coffee together. Right?
When
It
was
was
this?
Marissa's Island. You weren't there? You were there, Brendan.
Brandon wasn't invited.
You literally
I-
were there.
I literally don't remember how recent was this.
It was like a month ago. It was right after the update came out. You were legit there, and then I paid for coffee for everyone, and then Marissa paid.
Oh, that's
for
right.
coffee
We
for
took
everyone.
pictures. Yeah, no.
Yes,
yeah.
I was like,
Okay.
you were fucking there. What?
Okay. Just make sure.
But yeah, cute shit like that. I love Animal Crossing. I am a fan. I apologize for any non-fans because Kelly just shitted on us. But anyway, so yeah, that was the year in Nintendo. So any other big things that happened that we might have missed, or any really big games? I'm not really worried about the smaller ones. Sorry, I love indies. I'm on a time limit. So any other big games or anything big that anything else that happened that was big? Oh my god, sick brain.
I can think about.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
right?
that's sounds like everything.
I mean, besides their first general direct in over however many hundreds of days.
Yeah,
of the year.
That was something at the time.
I
All right, so
think that's it.
let's do a quick roundup of Nintendo. How exactly do you guys feel Nintendo did for 2021 as a whole, like overall?
Well, looking at this was kind of just like the year of revivals, First off, who the hell thought that Famicom Detective Club would come out of nowhere and be localized? Like, so many people didn't even know that game was a thing, and it's just like now you can just play both of them on Switch, which is crazy. Pokemon Snap came back, which is crazy. Shin Megami Tensei 5, after being announced in that initial Switch thing, finally came out. Pokemon came back. Mario Party came back in its Superstars form, which is bringing back everything Skyward Sword. That's what this year was. And then Metroid, after not having a mainline game since Fusion in 2002, finally got Metroid 5, that being Dread. Is like this was just pulling out all the like everything that was dead or just dying and just like bringing it back into the surface. So good job, Nintendo. I guess this is I'm glad you picked up everything, because we know going next year is going to be I think we're all pretty confident that the sequel to the Breath of the Wild is probably going to be coming out.
We're all pretty confident.
Okay, let me rephrase. I think at the very least we'll get a lot of good information about it next year. I still think what is this shaking head? Nah, Sam. We're definitely getting like a big trailer for that game.
Gabe is keeping his expectations lower than, I don't know, a buried body or something.
A buried body. No, I'm just looking forward to a nice, good trailer. Looking out for it, getting that title next year. Whether it actually comes out next year, who knows? But I know that's good. That's going to be like that's probably going to be their big focus next year. And but yeah, no, 2021. It had some really cool games that came out.
Sorry, not to cut you off, Brandon, but talking about big things in Nintendo, they announced the new Kirby game.
Shit, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Kirby is finally going to the third dimension in a very Odyssey-ish style game. That's awesome. They've like mainline Kirby games to this point have always been like 2D style. So for them to finally go 3D, yeah, I'm excited. I want to see how it turns out.
Get to see Kirby suck it.
You sound so excited. I'm gonna chalk it up to your sickness. It's like I'm so excited. You want to see how it turns out?
No, yes, I'm doing my best here.
I know. I'm not. I'm saying I know that you're sick because you're usually much more excited about these things, or at least much more impressive. It's funny that you said this is the year of revivals in Nintendo because WarioWare to me was just so random. That's true. Like what? And Pokemon Anniversary, bringing Pokemon back. Not all those games that were brought back were good though. What was that Ace Attorney game that came?
Greatest Attorney. Oh, I totally forgot to mention earlier, but I have been playing it because I did the first 2 cases on stream, and now I'm just doing third case onwards on my own. I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, that's another one that was localized, right? Finally.
Yeah, because it was originally on 3DS, unlocalized. I think that came out like 2015 in Japan, and then 6 years later, it finally got a localization of both games, which was awesome. I'm glad that we can finally experience that story.
Did any of you play No More Heroes 3?
Sadly, I did not because I still need to finish the original 2.
All right, well, it was like Brandon mentioned, it was a year of revivals for Nintendo, and either you were into those series and the revivals did good, or they didn't. And of course, this is all with the caveat of the fact that COVID is a very real thing still, and working from home for developers is also a real deal. So whenever I say this, I do take into account the fact that everything has changed and everything's a little bit harder. So I'm not paying attention to that factor when I say something, because some of y'all just think I'd be rude, and I understand. I probably am.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Kelly or Gabe, do you guys want to hop in on the Nintendo review of 2021?
I mean, they had a pretty good year, I think. The Switch OLED screen came out, so that was cool.
You're the only person I hear call it the OLED screen.
Because I don't know what it's called. I mean, OLED.
No, that's what it's called.
OLED. Okay.
That is technically what it's called.
Like, it's technically OLED. She's technically right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that came out. That was pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't really do Nintendo stuff. But I mean, I think they had a pretty good year. Compared to last year, I think everybody had a really good year.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Damn, I don't even remember last year, so I can only agree.
See, that's how bad that year was. That's how bad that year was.
It's just wiped off the slate, just gone forever.
Only thing. Actually, wait, that was 2020? Was 2019 the good year, and then 2020 was just nothing?
No.
2019 was a pretty good year for Nintendo.
No, I mean it like in general, because it was like that Game Awards was Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy VII, like it had a bunch of good shit.
Yeah.
That was 2019?
Yes.
What the fuck was 2020's?
No, 2020 was Animal Crossing. Because
Final
people
Fantasy
were playing
it's 2021, my bad.
2020. Okay.
I'm so lost.
So it was 2020. So it was last year.
Yeah.
Last year was good. What are you talking about? I stayed home and played a shit ton of games. It was great.
Yakuza. Well, yeah, I guess everybody had a good. I guess everybody had a good time because everybody was home.
Great. Like what? Okay, Gabe, anything on Nintendo?
Yeah. Shit year for Zelda fans. Terribly sorry. We all know the Zelda, the Skyward HD. Yeah, it was fun to play it again. And yeah, you had all those people on Twitter, like, oh my gosh, this is such a good game. I don't understand why people talk shit about it. But if you go back to their mentions in 2011, they were the ones talking shit about it.
Oh my God. This was like the year of like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, this is like I'm not going to spoil exactly why I'm saying this, but this is like the year of revisionist history, where something that's old is like good again. If you're like, oh, I like the old thing the whole time. It's like, no,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
And just because I know what you're talking about, to say about that, for that instance, I'm gonna tell you right now, it was just because of character writing. But anyway, before Jarrell and Kelly get crazy,
no idea what I'm talking about.
But yeah, for Zelda fans, it was kind of a bummer year. We really thought we are gonna get the the Mario treatment. We're gonna have some port overs, some the hell is it called? Clothes and all that stuff, but no, instead all we got was a happy birthday Zelda, the Game and Watch,
which I still need to get.
The Skyward
so funny.
Oh, it fell. The Skyward Sword thing. And then they were like, oh, if you want to play Ocarina of Time on your Switch, why don't you go ahead and pay, some extra money for your online subscription to play a very laggy port over. Yeah, that was it for Zelda fans.
Great. I forgot.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest though. I don't know if this sounds bad, but I don't know if it's because I'm used to playing with lag since I play fucking Smash Bros online and Nintendo can't get their shit together. For me, I can't feel the lag that much on Ocarina of Time. And it's I don't know if it's again just because I'm used to it or because some people just had a worse experience, but I don't really feel the lag, so I don't know about that.
I think it depends on the game because I've been doing a few N64 games for the Doesn't Hold Up. Mario Kart 64 and Dr. Mario 64 ran flawlessly. Star Fox 64 had like a teensy bit of lag, and that unfortunately with that kind of gameplay can sometimes get in the way. But those are the only 3 I've tried so far. So maybe just
the only lag I had was Yoshi's Island, which is the most simplest game that's on that library.
How funny.
It is the simplest game on that library, and it's like that's the one I was like, why is my input coming in so late? Was happy for Metroid fans. Those poor bastards have it. I think they're along Elder Scroll fans, and there's another series out there I can't remember right now. I think they probably have it the worst in terms of game announcements and actually getting a new game, because it's always like Nintendo's gonna say it this year and it's like no, and then finally this year it's like you come into the direct and you're like, oh, they're not gonna mention anything. All of a sudden Metroid, you're like, holy shit. So happy for them.
Yeah, I'll say yeah, they have it the worst in terms of fans that constantly wait, but they actually do eventually get their games. It's not like the F-Zero, the Gold, or God forbid, the Golden Sun fans. Ooh.
Yeah. There's another Metroid.
There's a lot of dead series of Nintendo.
What was I about to say next? Oh my gosh, Metroid. Yeah, nope, it left.
All right. Well, I will say that you reminded me that Mario got close, and he also got a whole ass Switch. Like, there's literally a Mario themed Switch. Damn, poor Zelda. But let's move on. Excuse me. Let's move on to Xbox. So, this was a pretty good year for Xbox, depending on who you ask, and Game Pass also, depending on who you ask. There were some actual Game of the Year contenders in here. And just to name a few of the games that came out that were definitely on people's radar, there's The Ascent, Halo Infinite. I said that as if I had a bunch of lists ready. The Medium, Flight Simulator, I heard was really great. Psychonauts 2, 12 Minutes was a game.
Certainly was a game.
Anything else that came up for Xbox this year? That was really
there was also Forza Horizon 5.
That's what I'm missing. Forza Horizon 5. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5. I think those are the 2 big ones, no?
Yeah, those are the 2 biggest ones for Xbox this year.
Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the only
I
one.
think that was pretty much the Xbox year.
To be fair, though, those games did all rate really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
The Ascent was also one of them. Yeah, I mean, Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite and Psychonauts 2 and Flight Simulator kind of stand on their own as those titles for Xbox. And then, of course, I think Xbox did a great job with Game Pass. Like, they literally really hit it out of the park this year with Game Pass. We got to play Outriders on Game Pass without paying for it. I think some of us got to pay Back for Blood on Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
We had a lot of opportunities to be able to play games for free on Game Pass that were day one. And a lot of those day one games ended up, whether we still play them or not, a lot of them I think were games that we necessarily might not have played before that we got a chance to, and the roster, continued to grow. RPG fans were getting really crazy announcements. I think this year we got Octopath Traveler on Game Pass, which was a Nintendo exclusive. And of course, Xbox has acquired a couple of studios that actually have PlayStation exclusives that are no longer going to be PlayStation exclusives anymore. And then of course we have the future. We're looking forward to what Bethesda has to bring up. But since we're talking about this past now, how do you guys think Xbox did for 2021?
Yeah, like you said, it's mostly Game Pass that kind of like got them. Game Pass is always going to do well for Xbox. That's pretty much their main selling point for their brand. So as it improves, it'll always be good. Now, that being said, I think it is worth mentioning that this is the year where Halo Infinite finally came out, where we got Forza Horizon 5 and Psychonauts 2. Those are all three very reviewed games, and of course, Forza and Halo in particular are what the Xbox brand is known for. And so you want to make sure, if you're Microsoft, to make sure that those two games are delivering on all fronts. And Infinite, has gone through a long development to make sure it was the Halo game that people wanted, especially after 4 or 5 didn't really land with a lot of people. So I'm glad a lot of people are liking Infinite a whole lot. That's definitely a good thing. And Forza Horizon 5 heard nothing but good things about. So that's obviously done really good, well for them. Psychonauts 2, bro, that's like winning like so many websites Game of the Year awards. So I know that game must be quality. So I think in terms of games, Microsoft's Xbox had a pretty good year.
Don't do that.
What?
Were you hitting your desk?
Oh, was I? I'm so sorry.
Right next to your mic. It was really loud.
Oh well, my bad. Anyway, yeah, no, they had I had a really good year in terms of games, and Game Pass remains a good deal.
Anyone else on Xbox or Game Pass?
I mean, Game Pass, yeah, it had all the stuff. They I can't remember when they bought Bethesda. It was apparently they finished it this year, so technically all those games got added to Game Pass in 2021. All the Fallouts and all of the other Bethesda titles. So that was pretty good. I mean, if you wanted to ever check them out, you could do it with Game Pass. I think that was really convenient. And like you said, some of the other exclusives are now on Game Pass. A lot of good stuff was on Game Pass this year too. Like they have the first Jurassic World Evolution and just some other games. I mean, nothing else really happened. They didn't have any console launches or anything. Yeah, I mean, I think they had a pretty good year though. I mean, whenever you drop a Halo title and a Forza title, that's going to be your best year at Xbox. So
very true. Yeah, I think the big draw this year for Xbox was Game Pass. I've always complained about the value of Game Pass, just for me personally, because it has always not been enough for me to shell out $15 a month just because there weren't games for me to play. And 2021 proved me fucking wrong. Xbox literally grabbed a bunch of games that I would actually play and threw them on Game Pass, and I played them. So I think that just speaks to the variety of what they've been able to acquire over at Xbox, and to me, I think that really won their 2021. I have played a little bit of Halo Infinite. It's been fun. Haven't touched Forza Horizon yet. I'm not really interested in Psychonauts. Those aren't really games that I personally would play. Maybe I'll play it eventually. So their big launches aren't really for me. But the ability to play a bunch of other stuff that I'm actually interested in Game Pass has actually made me turn my Xbox on. Because there have been times where that shit just sits there idly. So it's been really nice to be able to do that. Gabe, do you have anything for Xbox before we move on to PlayStation?
Only thing I'm going to say is Halo Infinite should not have been nominated for any awards because it came way too late. Next.
All right, cool. I actually agree with that. So I actually agree with you on that. Excuse me. Now let's look at PlayStation. PS5 obviously is a year old now, as is the Xbox. As far as hardware, we're getting some nice new faceplates. We got some new colors. Well, finally getting faceplates, official faceplates from PlayStation. We got some new colors for the controllers. A few updates, but no new hardware. I think actually there was that updated version of the PS5, but it was basically like the base model, so there was no internal changes or whatever. I don't know, but aside from that, nothing big. So as far as games, we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, Deathloop, Kana, Bridge of Spirits. Any more? That were like exclusives for
Not that I can
PlayStation.
think of.
Exclusives. Oh, are we talking only about PlayStation 5 or just also
Just
PS4?
PlayStation exclusives in general, PS4 and PS5.
Was Near Replicant on Xbox as well, or is that
Yes,
only on PlayStation?
it was on
okay,
Xbox
okay.
as well.
So multi-platform. Okay, then never mind. I think
Ghost of Tsushima.
it did get its
get a
director's cut this year.
this year. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it did.
So
did Death Stranding, if I'm not mistaken. I got its director's cut this year as well.
yes, I think Xbox and PlayStation both had, you know, a good handful of brand new titles that came out this year. I don't want to do like an in comparison of Halo Infinite versus like Kena Bridge of Spirits, obviously. But I think both of them, you know, pretty decent, especially for a year into COVID, as far as they could do what they can do. Yeah, I mean, I played a shit ton of PlayStation this year. It's probably my most played console, surprisingly. But that is because I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 and Tales of Arise was really long, sprawling JRPG. So a lot of my and The Other World Ends With You, all these games that are taking me a bunch of hours are all on PlayStation. So that's probably why. But for a 2021 year in review for PlayStation, how do you guys feel about that?
It was a pretty okay year for PlayStation. I think like the releases that did come out that you mentioned have been really good. Like I haven't played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart myself, but I've heard nothing but like glowing reviews for it. Some people put it as their Game of the Year candidates. Returnal, it wasn't for everyone, but those that did stick with it really enjoyed it. I personally really enjoyed Deathloop. I haven't had time to finish it, but I've really enjoyed it. Kena is fucking gorgeous. I absolutely love that game, and it's like a really well done PS2 era game in terms of like it being like a platformer. So I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, no, like the games that actually did come out of PlayStation are of good quality. I guess just wasn't that much, but again, what did come out I think was really good. So PlayStation had a pretty good year. I do think that COVID might have affected some releases here and there, but hopefully 2022 is looking better for that. Which I'll mention one particular game I'm looking forward to when we get to that point.
I would also like to give a shout out to Xbox for Death's Door, which was a timed exclusive, which was also really good, according to Gabe's article, which you can read at hpcriticalgaming. Kelly or Gabe, anything for PlayStation?
I gave it a 9 out of 10, by the way. Death's Door. For PlayStation, not really. A lot of the games I played on PlayStation released everywhere else. Chivalry, Battlefield, Tales, Back for Blood. They did have that little update that you can upgrade the internal storage. So I guess that's definitely a, I'm not going to say like a great move, but you know, as opposed to if God forbid an updated version of PS5 comes out within the next year or two, you know, you're not going to buy it solely because it offers like a 2 terabyte option. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, Apple.
Well, yes, it's a little pricey to get the SSD. It's definitely the better option. But besides that, I mean, like Jarrell said, the customizations to the plates and stuff after D-Brand did it, and then they tried taking them to court on it.
Did they take D-Brand to court? Are you sure it was D-Brand? Because I thought it was like a smaller.
No, it was D-Brand.
Oh,
they had this whole thing, and D-Brand still poking fun at them because as you guys know, obviously consoles have fans in them, like a PC, and D-Brand's like, well, systems need fans, and like so they're. But I'm not gonna get into that. It doesn't matter. If you want to look what their plates look like, go on dbrand.com or find them on Twitter at dbrand. You can see all that. But besides that, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to everything they have upcoming because they had their state of plays this year. Very nice games, not very nice, some very exciting games announced within the next 3 years and beyond. But yeah, besides that, I mean, sadly, I didn't turn on my PS5 as much as I would have liked.
I'm actually on, and it's getting hot.
No, it's because I'll get into that later, but I finally upgraded my PC and it's like I can play so much more on that.
Kelly, anything for PlayStation? All right, cool. So I want to do one question for you guys, and then we're going to talk about our game of the year stuff. And that one question is just going to consolidate a little bit of what I was asking you before, which is what company and video games are you most looking forward to in 2022?
For 2022, I mentioned it before, but I'm just most interested in see some more information about the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Now, that being said, I don't think it will actually release next year. I'm optimistic it would, but I just want to see information about it. As far as games that I know actually will come out next year that I'm looking forward to, I'm so excited for Triangle Strategy. Like, I played that demo earlier this year, and I said, and I quote on that podcast playing demo, it has potential to be my game of the year for 2022. And I do stand by that, like, because I was really feeling that demo, and I just am looking forward to the full release, seeing what kind of decisions you can make in that final game and how the actual tactical gameplay will go. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And, looking forward to some Final Fantasy 16 information. I'm very excited for that game, actually. I also don't know if that's going to end up releasing next year. Otherwise, I would have put it, but I'm looking forward to hearing about that game as well. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And any specific company you're looking forward to for 2022? Between PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, I mean.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say. I think Sony had that. Like, obviously, I'm a big Nintendo guy. Anyone that knows me knows that. But I do think Sony has some good surprises that are going to be coming out for 2022 that I think will surprise us. Like, we already know that Forspoken is coming out next year, and I'm very excited for Forspoken. Games like that, and I think other surprises that Sony might have up their sleeve can make for a good year for Sony. So we'll see. I think it's between Sony and Nintendo for me personally.
Kelly, anything you're looking forward to in 2022, or any company you're looking forward to seeing thrive?
So stuff I'm looking forward to in 2022. A lot of horror games are supposedly coming out. Some of them, I wrote them in my article for horror games that were supposed to come out this year and they didn't. So I'm hoping we'll see them next year, like the Outlast trials. Like a 4-player Outlast. Of course, we're all going to play it. I'm going to gift it to everyone. So you have no choice.
Oh, God.
But like something like that, definitely looking forward to. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, which was announced at the Game Awards. I'm hoping to see that in 2022. I just read that it would be like early 2022, so that's something. Dead by Daylight is going to have that Ring chapter. I also wrote an article about that. That's going to be next year. So that's obviously exciting. Playing more Halo, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm hoping that they'll have updates and extra, content that they might drop, DLC. That would be cool. Obviously looking forward to like keeping up with some of the competitive stuff that they might do now that Halo's back. I'm trying to think. There was another. Dying Light. Dying Light 2? Is that gonna wait? I'm so confused. I thought that was supposed to be out already. That was another one that I wrote, and it was like now it's coming out next year. Anyways, Dying Light 2.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay. I mean, there's a couple of other games that I'm probably looking forward to. Nothing specific from any companies. Like, I have a PS5 now, so if they were going to drop some games, that'd be great, but I don't really care that much. I play on my computer a lot. Mostly just old games. I don't even, if I can't get it on Game Pass and it's new, I don't play it.
Very fair.
Yeah, I mean, nothing in particular, really.
Cool. Gabe, same question.
My turn. I'm going to be optimistic and say Breath of the Wild is the sequel to Breath of the Wild is coming out next year. Because I swear to God, if I go another year without a new Zelda game, I'm going to lose my mind. Elden Ring, Forspoken. I feel like I'm about to jinx all of us when I say this right now, but the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga game that's been delayed 2 years in a row on spring. I'm going to cry if it doesn't. I can't go a third spring seeing coming out spring 2023.
That game hasn't released yet.
I will lose my absolute shit. Pokemon Arceus or Arceus, however you pronounce it.
Arceus,
I
yeah.
don't care. I'd say Arceus because I'm
No.
illiterate.
Oh, hell.
Damn, there's another game. I know there's other games coming out next year. I'm gonna fill this part with the company I'm most excited for. Oh, Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, true.
And I can't remember if they said Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok comes out 2022 too, or it comes out 2023.
It should be 2022.
I believe it's 2020. Yeah.
Along with
Wow.
Horizon.
Horizon and
Forspoken.
God of War. Yes, no, Sony's gonna have a pretty good big 2022 then.
Yeah,
for
not
sure.
Xbox. Forbidden West, Elden Ring.
Okay.
Sorry. Because I know there was one more game I was extremely excited for. Did they say Kirby the Forgotten Land was coming out next year?
It is coming out next year. I think
Oh,
in like
I guess-
spring.
I guess that one too. Yeah, that's what IGN said.
Mhm.
Do you guys remember the Redfall game that was announced?
Do we remember it? It's my most anticipated Xbox title.
Oh, it's Xbox. Never mind. I don't want this shit. I want to.
Oh my god!
I want to see Starfield. I'm not necessarily gonna get into it. Probably. I want to see what that one's like. Come on, where's that game? There was one more game.
Was it a
Oh,
PlayStation?
sorry. There's two more games.
Hogwarts
Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knights.
Oh, true.
If they come, hopefully they do, and that they weren't.
We haven't seen Gotham Knights in a while, I don't think.
That's probably because they're getting ready to release it.
Yeah,
Sonic
they showed it off
Frontiers.
during the WB day or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's true. Sonic Frontiers.
Sonic Frontiers and the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Those are the games I'm excited for next year. Hopefully, they don't get hit with another year delay. It'll be nice to see them. But the company I'm most excited for, I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be PlayStation. I feel like Nintendo is gonna take, kind of like not an off year, but like, Zelda's kind of the focus. And now it's like, all right, let's relax and focus on other Nintendo things. I'll never like Xbox. I'm sorry. They can, just hope they treat Bethesda right. That's all I can ask from Xbox. But yeah, I'm looking for PlayStation, really. Those two big hitters, the Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Games are going to be fun.
Yeah, I just keep thinking back to the Game Awards and all the most anticipated games, and I'm like, it's going to be a great year for PlayStation and a really good year for Nintendo. And if Xbox can come out with some of that Bethesda stuff like Starfield, etc., it's going to be a really great year for gaming next year, 2022. Definitely looking forward to it. I'm gonna end this with our Game of the Year. Winners for HPCritical, and then we're gonna sign the F off. So just in case you guys haven't seen by now, we posted some polls to see what everyone who is a fan of HPCritical is interested in seeing as their game of the year for the specific categories. We have our own that were voted internally, and I'm just going to go over some of them right now. So the best original soundtrack goes to Tales of Arise. The best indie goes to Kena Bridge of Spirits, with Take-Two as the number 2. Best multiplayer goes to It Takes Two. The best RPG was Tales of Arise. The best DLC was the Final Fantasy VII Remake episode Intermission, featuring your girl Yuffie. The best mobile title went to Pokemon Unite. The best scary game went to Metroid Dread. Even though on Twitter it definitely went to Resident Evil Village. Well, Kelly,
I'm not gonna lie, Metroid Dread has some scary moments.
It does have some scary moments, though.
You made, but our internal voting said that Metroid Dread is scarier than Resident Evil Village, but it's probably because
I don't think that's actually scarier, but
literally just because more people at HP Critical staff have played Metroid Dread probably than have played Resident Evil Village. Probably the only reason that one. Best art style goes to Tales of Arise.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, I voted for Tales of Arise. I love the art style in that game.
Yeah, that's
our style in that game is good.
It's beautiful. Best FPS was Battlefield 2042. The best ongoing title goes to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Final Fantasy 14. It was a tie.
Wow, nice.
Best New Protagonist was also a tie between Max and Cody from It Takes Two and Shion Emeris from Tales of Arise. The most played console over at HP Critical is obviously the Nintendo Switch, and our game of the year, by one vote, is the same as the game of the year for the Game Awards, which was It Takes Two. So you'll definitely see all of that over at HP Critical with a brand new design, brand new website design. We're revamping for 2022. It's gonna be awesome. Look forward to it. And with that, good night, everybody. Bye. See you.
Bye.
Good night. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Celebrate
See you
safely.
next year.